Hello and welcome everyone. This is Lavender Sky Panther. Today is Saturday, July 25th, 2020, and today's topic is called SKYEffects, SunTech, and Cloaking, and it's a collection of images and sky observations happening July 20th through the 23rd, 2020. So before we get going, I'd like to say good day, osio, hao, buongiorno, guten tag, kia ora, jambo, buenos dias, bonjour, ni hao, dzień dobry, konnichiwa, dobrowania, annyeonghaseyo, boataji, dobry den, aloha winala, kalimera, and guten tag. So, today's first image kicking it off for these sky observations is of artificial sun technology and quote second sun unquote sequence. Now this was happening at around 5:20 in the afternoon, and I just noticed this, just something felt odd about the sun, and there was some nice backlighting and some cloud cover happening that usually exposes things happening around the sun pretty well. So I just started snapping some photos, pretty much split second one after the other, and found some very interesting things when I brought them in and just had a look. So here we go. Upper left, this started to look like it had some geometry and symmetry to it. This little thing here, as we go along, this little thing that looks like a little moon, that is actually either an artificial or celestial body that orbits the sun, or what we're calling the sun. It may be artificial. It may have some tech in front of our real sun. I've covered this in previous shows if you have a look. And if you have a look around at other Earth and sky watching channels, you'll see what this is all about. But anyway, let's have a look at these. And right after this slide, I'll start zooming in individually on these images, and we'll do some analysis on them to look a little more closely. So here we go. Geometry noted there. Then what is this? Look at this. The backlighting is really showcasing this. There's a curved object or sphere of some sort. This reminds me of some type of metal strap or tab. Then we come into the next photo. Look at that. We've got some kind of hexagonal shape, maybe pentagonal, but definitely has geometry and symmetry to it. Then we move along, and again, that form expands outward even more. Is it being projected? Who knows? Then we come down here to the lower left, and look at that. The white form is the pentagon with some other shape and tech happening to the above left of this little body. And then we keep going and we keep seeing it, and it kind of morphs and changes and moves as we move along in the sequence. This one has looks like elongated, like looks like some type of, I'm missing the word right now, elongated kite shape or pendulum shape. And then we go to the right, and we've got this weird little, it's not quite a spotlight, it's kind of like a crystalline structure happening in there with other geometry beyond. So this is well worth taking a look at one by one. So I'm going to cover all of those slides except for, I think, the one labeled F in the little title. So here we go. Left-hand side is going to be the original photo. Right-hand side is going to be the enhanced photo versions and zoomed in with some line tracings just to better clarify what I'm talking about. When I say enhanced, I mean either brightness has changed or contrast or hue or color just a little bit. Nothing of the content of the photo has changed, just some of the attributes of it. So, such as that, like brightness and whatnot. So here we go. Actually, here's something I didn't even catch before. Where if you follow my cursor, that looks like a geometrical shape, actually like some type of craft, and there might be one up here too. Actually, that looks like another pentagon. Anyway, what I'm focusing on is here's that object that orbits around the sun or artificial sun, whatever we're calling it these days. But look down here. So here there's a clear ball, calling that 1. Then there's another sphere. You can see the outline, an outcrop 2, another outcrop 3, and then either 2 spheres or one larger light source. So I'm calling it 4 and 5, but it may just be 4. So if you look to the right, that's what I've done. I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or just 4. Something's happening there. Then in the upper right, you can see just tracing. I just see very pronounced symmetry here. And so I trace that out, plus symmetry happening over here. You can see the edges. See here if you follow my cursor. Very clear symmetrical, geometrical forms. Now those do not occur in nature in the cloud and the sky realm, other than being a sphere or a circle or maybe an ellipse. So what is that? I'm calling it artificial SunTech. All right, now to the left, original photo, you're going to see these black specks. Those are just gnats. It was a very heavy, humid day, and there were a ton of these little insects around, so that's nothing to really worry about or look at in detail. So here we go. Here's this artificial sun. Now it's kind of morphing. You don't see the distinct balls on the sides outcropping anymore. But look at this thing. It's like a metallic tab, it just reminds me of. And this thing beyond has a curve to it, and it reminds me of a disc, you know, like with cutouts in it. So to the right, I just tried to trace over. My skills with this little sketching tech is not the best, so this would be actually more curved down this way if you follow my cursor, but you get the idea. So this thing I'm just like, reminds me of a metallic tab. But what is it? What technology is that? Why is it there? It's not a part of my camera. It's not a defect in my camera. I shoot pictures of the sun all of the time with it, and I never get this. So what the heck is going on? And then the split second frame before and after, that does not appear. So what is it? Again, tech. Okay, now on the left-hand side, now we see very clear presence of geometry again. I'm calling it a pentagon. Could it be hexagonal up there? Sure, but I can't really see beyond this little cover of the sphere, whatever that thing is. So we go to the right again. I see the pentagon with this little body, which is either celestial or artificial, but it's definitely some type of spherical object orbiting the sun these days. And you'll see that again on many other sky and earth watching channels. Please go find them on YouTube. They're really a lot of excellent information happening with direct observations going around the entire world. So then you go further to the right. Here we've got that pentagon, and then now I'm even seeing a rectangular form. In the middle slide, you can see it. It's a brighter object. You know, you see it very clearly. So what is that? All right, left-hand side again. There's that little, I'll just call it a moon for right now. Is it artificial or celestial? I have no idea. But it certainly reflects light or generates it on its own. Then here beyond, get that pentagonal shape again. Now this other form beyond, you know, reminds me of perforated metal. So that's the one I outlined in purple over here on the right. They look like little triangular forms, so I just put those in there. And you can see where else I'm finding some geometry. And again, what is this thing? You know, just calling it a second sun or a moon, whatever you like. But it seems to be an artificial light source. It could be a planetary body. Be on the lookout for this in your own observations. See what you think. Okay, left-hand side, original photo. Again, we're seeing some geometry here and in the background as well, and down here for sure. Even looks like it's causing a bit of a shadow, or there's yet another form happening beyond. But if you look at the right, that's just kind of what I'm seeing. Now the green form could certainly, that might not be it. You know, I'm just catching this part of it. It might be the overall form here on the left might be much bigger. Or again, it's like this interlayering of sheet forms or something. I'm not sure what tech that is. Maybe you know. If you have any interesting angles or see stuff that I might miss covering in the photos, by all means, please let me know in the comment section below. All right, this one tracks with the in the overall sequence slide, E. Okay, so now on the left-hand side, again, we get a view of that little thing. Let's say, what am I calling it? Light source. I'll just say light source for now. With, again, geometry. Now, what's interesting here is we start to see crystalline form, like, you know, like diamond facets starting to pop up in the background. So that's notable. But in this one, I see a shadow form of an elongated triangle. Again, the usual pentagon and other shapes happening above and beyond it. See what you think that is, but I'm still calling it tech. What technology is this? All right, next one. You get more of like a actual like effect look of a diamond here. Excuse me. And as we look to the right, just again change the enhance some things with the contrast and hues and whatnot. But here you go. It looks very crystalline. So is that tech? Either generating light or reflecting a light reflector, or is that an interdimensional object that happened to just float through there, or dimensional object like a craft? I'm not sure. Actually, I'm just catching it now in the background. Here's also a shadow of that pentagon, but now dark and not light. Might be a different one. Lower right-hand corner, I just changed the color even more to make it blue. Just sometimes you see things in a different way when you look at it in different colors. But still, just getting this very pronounced crystalline structure and either pentagonal or hexagonal shape happening down below. Okay, now we're going to move into the Cloaking Craft or Sky Object part of this show. So on the left, of course, I think you can all see this very pronounced shadowed triangle. Tufted clouds happening around the outside defining it tell me that some type of craft has arrived or departed, and that's just the imprint, or it's sitting there. I'm not sure, but you know, it really is in your face and pronounced, so I don't even know if I should call it Cloaking Craft, because if it is, it's not doing a great job, right? But I haven't, lately I'm thinking it also might just be a diversion tactic or a red herring, like, hey, look over here, because look right side of it, you're going to miss this if you're just staring at this darker void, right? So here there's a disturbance cloud, and the cloud just reminds me of electromagnetic activity, of, again, something trying to cloak. And look at this teardrop shape, that's definitely something trying to be obscured. And, by these bars and by this little static here, there also looks like a shape here hiding, and there are other shapes in here as well the more you look. Even up here, there's the outline of an elongated pentagon. So I just changed the contrast over here on the right just to see if I could pull out anything more. And again, for some people it's easier to see things with a little more contrast on it. And I zoomed in and changed contrast and color a little bit more just in case you want to have fun. When you have a little more time, I'm going to try to keep this show as tight as I can on the running time. So take this photo and look on your own for other things. Also, what was odd is it looks like there's a sphere cloaking down here too, this brighter light source. Alright, now this is just called Cloud Play, Angelfish, and Diamonds. So look, remind me of an angelfish here on the left. Definitely looks like something could be cloaking beyond. And if not, it's just one heck of a strange cloud form that I have not seen before. And then on the right, here's a diamond shape. You can see the shadowed diamond shape with very distinct, sharp edges. There might be other things cloaking in and around here. Just very odd on this one, though, is the smoky, hazy blur-out effect. The camera's fine, that's just how the cloud looks. So that's another type, I think, of cloaking cloud method for hiding, trying to hide these things or highlight these things. I'm not sure what the intent is. Okay, this one on the left is called Not-a-Smudge. Crafts cloaking. So again, the bottom we see the little angelfish departing. This is not a smudge. There's some little weird activity, looks a little smudged too around the photo. So we move in on this one in particular to the right, and again enhance the photo to find like a pizza-shaped slice here, with the tufted smoke, like again tells me something's trying to hide or is arriving or leaving. But it's, obscured even by this kind of cloud activity, whether that's plasma or water vapor or whatnot, I have no idea. But you see it kind of diving in behind another veil of this stuff. And here there's a darker object, so that's either piggybacking below or on top of this bigger thing. So see what you think is happening. Alright, this one's just called Strange Clouds. This is a very skinny, very thin, and unusually so, cumulus cloud that's just shooting straight up. It was really bizarre. It was the only thing like this anywhere around. So it basically just screamed, hey, look over here, look at me. So I did and took a picture. Now to the right, this is also strange. There's all these veiling of layers and layers of weird and different and varied clouds happening lately. And again, my theory is they come in and roll in and veil intentionally to hide what is going on specifically at sunrises and sunsets these days with our sun, since there's a lot of suspect activity happening around it. But in this particular case, have a look. This is looking northeast. And if you take this on your own, and just zoom in, whether you take a screenshot and do it or however you want to do it. This looks like structure to me, slicing through the sky and a little bit here, so you might find something. I'm not going to cover that today, but go have a look on your own and let me know what you think you see in the comments section below if you see anything. Okay, now this is just called low lenticular cloud form in subtropics. So I'm starting to see these in the last month or so. These roundish, very beautiful, ethereal-looking discoidal or ellipsoidal type forms. They have a very creamy, smooth texture to them, and that doesn't usually happen in very hot, humid, lately no wind subtropical climate. So I've seen these things on top of mountains, and like Mount Shasta, and very windy or cool air conditions, but not hot subtropical Florida. But yet I'm starting to see these more and more. So I did run the whole contrast gamut on it. I really couldn't pull anything more out. It was so dense, but just as strange on its own. Okay, now this is Camouflaging Craft-in-Clouds with trail. That's just what it reminded me of, is this thing zooming along and leaving a trail behind it. Whether or not that's really happening, that looks like the trajectory. But anyway, what's interesting about this one is that it's becoming very crystalline. So very translucent, very gossamer-like, So we have this overall thing, and then little triangles, making up this little, what do I want to say, translucent, film-like, I don't know what it is. So we'll take a look closer in. Now I did change, some things just to pull out some things, so we get a little warmer tone happening within. So it's very much like almost like a sea creature. Reminds me of like jellyfish structure, where you have something very ethereal and light, and then you have some guts of it showing up. So I'm not sure what it is. See what you think. But again, look at this, how crystalline, but yet it has definitive structure. So I just traced over the overall triangle that I see, and obviously there's circles, half circles in here, all kinds of things going on. This looks like a head and like a wing. So again, it just kind of reminds me more of a sea creature floating through water. See what you think. If you have any fun ideas, whether they have any basis or not, I don't care. Even if you're just creative, let me know what you see. All right, now this is one more sequence of moving, cloaked, and cloud craft with trail sequence. So again, this lemon-shaped thing where my cursor is in the upper left-hand corner photo, it looks like very lemon-shaped with a trail behind it that has geometry in it, like honeycomb geometry, but not honeycomb-shaped, just different shapes. So that caught my attention, plus these two clouds kind of anchoring it, and this downward motion. And also what was striking about this is just how blue this sky was at 8:30, deep blue with this like cyan blue coming through it. I didn't alter these photos. This is how they were, which was very odd for skies at this time in South Florida. Looking west. So anyway, I just tracked it through, took frame by frame by frame. We start to see this weird activity, which again, these ripples and other things remind me of electromagnetic activity happening. Go down to the lower left. Again, it's breaking apart a little, and to the right, it is still breaking apart further, but look at its position. It was the lemon shape in the upper right is over this little clump of tree, and now to the right, it's over, further right, like over this part of the tree. So it looks like it had movement to it. So this little zoom out near, it looks like it's zooming down from the upper left to the lower right into those trees, falling apart a bit, but then we see again this kind of telltale cluster of very dense cloud form. Looks like there's other little craft cloaking in there, especially where my cursor is along this edge. Those are very dark, almost black little bits. So if you zoomed in there, you might find evidence of craft cloaking behind there. So anyway, see what you see. Now, here it is again. Okay, and if you zoom in on this trail on your own when you have a little more time, you might find some interesting things in geometries as well. And I've just zoomed in a little bit more. Again, this is what I was talking about. There might be some dark things happening in there. Change the color a little bit too, just to see if we could see something in a new way and pull something forward. Have a look when you've got a little more time. Let me know what you find. Okay, now this is just lightning flashes, no bolts. So in my previous show with lightning round plus sky cloaking in the title, I cover this, how I have evidence of lamp work and not lightning bolts as the light sources in some of these quote-unquote, storm systems, let's just say, and no thunder as well, notably no thunder. So in this case, the upper left is the original photo. I noticed off in the distance there were some flashes going on. So I just took out my phone camera and played video, even though I couldn't see much. But then when you come inside, you can isolate the frames and then catch, what's going on. Now my camera does catch bolts, and lately it does also catch just what look like lamps causing this. So in this case, this is the light as it starts to generate. And then on the right-hand side, excuse me, it is, a little stronger. Hang on one second. Okay, now what's interesting about the one on the right is with this lightning effect, it's highlighting this kind of big cloud at the bottom. This is a telltale sign of artificially spawned or induced cloud, and this is the thing that always rolls in at the, right before sunrise and right at sunset to obscure our actual, visual evidence of the ball going down and touching the horizon. Again, I believe intentionally so, given all the strange activity happening around the sun lately, but also to obscure the presence of a red body happening beyond all of this kind of really thick veiled stuff going on in the sky. Especially, there's another show I've done that has red flash in the title. There's a red flash that occurs at sunset, always in my area around 8:15 to 8:30. As the sun is going down, yet you can't see exactly what's causing that because of all this layer of cloud and haze in the sky, again, deliberately placed. Same thing happens pre-light sunrise, just before you get that first crack of light. There's also red on the east side. So have a look on your own if you're not doing it already. Go outside and, like I said, even for 2 or 5 minutes, start observing what's going on around you in the skies. Okay, now this is just heart-shaped cloud and diamond-shaped beyond. So here we have this little heart shape, and it does look like, a bigger diamond happening beyond, so I just traced that out. All right, now I want to say thank you for hanging around here a while. This is our little photo of the week. I usually like to close on a note of nature and give some specifics about it, but I'm going to skip that this time, but we'll resume that the next time. So this is just a picture of some birthday balloons. I hope wherever you are in the world, you are celebrating life, no matter what's going on around you, around all of us lately. Just enjoy it. That's what we're here for. And don't worry about the timing. Just enjoy the right now. So anyway, I wish you all the best. Take care. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.